Hello everyone, playing a little bit of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I want to talk a little bit about the concept of an LMG. Before we get started, this will be uploaded to my YouTube channel, TSR, where I put up these shorter videos, if you're interested. I also have a second channel. From time to time I upload streams on. Douglas Scott Rivenmark is just my personal channel, if interested. Now, let's get started, shall we? Well, while I play here, let me describe. Just want to talk about the concept of an LMG, a light machine gun. Generally, the concept of a light machine gun was based around the concept of having a automatic support weapon on the squad, platoon, and individual fire team level, or section, depending on what military you happen to be in. Alrighty then. Let's move on out. There are a number of modern examples, including the one I'm using in the game, which is based in my apologies for the pause there. Got a little bit distracted. Oh dear, guard this base quite well. Now, this particular LMG in the game is based off of a British LMG, to my knowledge, which will be mentioned later. Oh dear, oh dear. Let's peek around while we talk here. Other modern examples one might find would be the M240 light machine gun, also known as the Mini-Me, or the SAW in its US service. SAW standing for Squad Automatic Weapon, which is its own concept born out of the light machine gun role. The SAW specifically being used for supporting of individual sections or squads, depending on the military you happen to be in. Alrighty. Light machine guns were meant to be portable as to facilitate fire and maneuver. Military thinkers envisioned the need for such a particular tool at the infantry's disposal, especially with increased emphasis on mobility. This led to early examples such as the Madsen machine gun. Design date, I believe, was 1883. A relatively slow rate of fire of 450 rounds per minute. Another example would be the famous SHAREfactory, or SOSHA. I believe I'm mispronouncing the name rather extensively. Essentially, the SHAREfactory had a bit of a problem. Its open magazine had a habit of letting in mud, sand, dirt, or whatever happened to be on the ground when firing into the firing mechanism, leading to massive reliability issues. The concept of the open magazine was so that the user would be able to keep count of how many rounds were left in the magazine. A neat idea, just poorly implemented. Many modern magazines are just simply made of transparent polymers, or have a little section which is not open but has a see-through polymer that allow you to count the rounds. Oh dear, oh dear. Try to hold down this route for a little while. The SHAREfactory was notorious for its severe reliability issues, especially in the trenches of World War I, where it was prominently used. Another, more successful light machine gun was the Lewis gun. Those of you who are familiar with other first-person shooter games. Oh dear, I don't think I'm getting this route back. might be familiar with the Lewis gun. It was fairly unique, as most LMGs are air-cooled. It was unique in the fact that it was cooled by a radial heat sink wrapped around the barrel and covered by a barrel shroud, drastically increasing its weight. Another example of an abnormally heavy, oh there, take care of these two, but abnormally heavy light machine gun would be the light machine gun version of the German MG08, which is a modification of their water-cooled heavy machine gun, making it slightly lighter and putting it on a bipod rather than a tripod. The German soldiers expected to carry this thing should have been commended just on how strong their backs were. Oh dear, oh dear. They truly do want this base. Many light machine guns are just a modification. Let me drop a cluster strike here while we continue on. Are just generally a modification of an existing firearm in the field, particularly at modern times, such as the RPK line, which was based off the AKM series. The AK in this particular game also can be modified into the RPK. Then you have the British L86 SLW. No, it was LSW. My apologies. A slip of the tongue there, got distracted. There is also a light machine gun version of the Steyr AUG. There are dedicated light machine guns still in service with some countries, including the FN Mini-Me, which is one of my all-time favorites just for aesthetics. Some notable historical examples which had odd feeding mechanisms, now that we've gone through a couple odd cooling mechanisms, would be the hopper-fed Type 11 light machine gun of Japan, developed in 1922. The goal of it was to create a light machine gun that could be fed from standard stripper clips, just simply placed onto a hopper. The hopper's lid would close, putting it under spring tension, and then it would feed from that. Oh dear, let's see if I can get a hipfire kill if I run in there really fast. Nope, that did not work out for me. Most light machine guns happen to be box-fed, although the FN Mini happened to be belt-fed, although many, such as it and the SAW, can be modified to take box magazines should a belt not be available. The IWI Negev series, I believe, can also perform this function. Interesting example of a early light machine gun would be the Browning automatic rifle, the BAR, which we refused to send over to Europe during World War I for fear of the Germans capturing it. There's also the ever-famous Bren light machine gun. While I do like the BAR, I do believe the Bren was a better light machine gun, except for the Bren was developed after with more advancements in mind. The BAR was quite early. The Bren had a 30-round magazine, and the BAR had a 20. BAR fed from the bottom, which at times proved awkward to load, to my knowledge. Some more modern examples that developed later is there is a particularly lightened version of the M60. General purpose machine gun. In fact, general purpose machine gun, if deployed from a bipod, is generally referred to as a light machine gun. If deployed from a tripod, it's a heavy machine. It is either considered heavy or a medium, generally a medium. Although general purpose machine guns have been developed as both. Essentially, general purpose machine guns serve as both medium and a light machine gun in service. The downside, I would assume, is they can't do both particularly well. They're either more on the light machine gun side of the family or more on the medium. An interesting example, historically, would be the Beretta 30, which, just like the SHARE, its design made it inherently... Ooh, let's see what I got. Let's see if we can do a little bit better. Oh dear. Back in it then. Beretta 30 fed from an internal magazine that would swing open that you would feed from a stripper clip, a 20-round one. Its overly complicated design did not lend well to fighting in desert regions such as North Africa, where the Italians did a lot of their fighting. Oh dear, oh dear. Back into the more modern era, the Stoner 63 was developed by the same individual who developed the M16, although it was nowhere near as successful. The FN Mini-Me, on the other hand, by Belgium, which is very modern, is popular with quite a few countries still. Oh dear, we need to move around now, don't we? I do believe there's also a larger caliber FN Mini-Me chambered for 7.62 NATO that is available. The Heckler & Koch MG3 is also another example of a modern light machine gun. There is a lot of overlap with light machine guns, squad automatic weapons, and general purpose machine gun. The general purpose machine guns doing the role of both medium and light, and the squad automatic weapon essentially performing the role of a light machine gun, but on the individual section or fire team level, with at times more than one assigned to a single squad, depending on the country you're in. Oh dear, oh dear. The shield does come in handy. So let's give him his grenade back. Oh, that didn't work. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. There's a number of light machine guns that are simply based upon the standard rifle in service of the country, as previously mentioned. Heckler & Koch MG36 has a light machine gun version of it, which few are aware of. It did not gain much popularity. Steyr AUG, as previously mentioned, also has a version of it. There's also the LA6, which is also based upon their standard production rifle, and a few others. Well-known historical example would be the Z30, which was fed by a top-mounted magazine of 20 rounds. Oh dear. The Japanese, during World War II, fielded both the Type 96 light machine gun, which in appearance is very similar to the Bren gun, chambered in 6.5 by 50 millimeter Arasaka, which is a fantastic cartridge. They also fielded the Type 99 light machine gun, which was in the 7.7 by 58 millimeter Arasaka round. Many modern light machine guns tend to use the lighter cartridges in service with the mainline rifles of any military, while medium machine guns use a slightly heavier but still fairly... Oh, look, someone's probably coming around here soon. Nope, they're just sitting right there. Probably could have gotten a hit fire there, but I'm more concerned with living through this. The AR, back in the day, was particularly heavy, but it was obsolete by the time the war started, World War II. After World War II, the idea of a general-purpose machine gun largely took over, although light machine guns still exist and thrive today in a new form, usually as a squad automatic weapon such as the SAW, in U.S. service. But there are some considered true light machine guns available for use by various militaries. In fact, the game offers general-purpose machine guns. This particular game, general-purpose machine guns in the light machine gun category. Oh dear, let's move around, shall we? Moving on up. Someone gassed me. Well, I guess it's going to be over now. Let's finish this out, shall we? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let's move on back up here. No, I don't see no one. Well. Light machine guns in the game can be used quite effectively, especially when you're locking down routes on shoot house, which I'm trying to do now. Oh, someone tried to run in behind me. There's another one. Someone swung on from behind. Need to move around. I don't see nothing. There they are. Let's move on. No, I think I'm gonna stay behind this shield right now. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let's move on up. For those of you who are interested, this will be uploaded to my YouTube account, just DSR, where I put up these shorter videos and commentary. That spooked me a little. I have a second channel, Douglas Scott Ravenberg, where I occasionally load up streams. Alrighty then. Need to suppress this route, which is what a light machine gun's good for. And someone swings in the flank. Light machine gun should always be supported. Alrighty then, cool beans, cool beans. Let's move on up. Oh, there's someone right there waiting for me. And I go down. Wait, revenge. Cool beans, cool beans. Let's move on up, see if we can get at least one more person. There we go. Alrighty then. Alright, let's drop another one of these and move on around. There's someone coming back this way. Oh, I guess not. About to close out. Let's see how well I did. Alrighty then. Thank you for your time, and guess I'll see everyone around.